This is The Change Underground. I'm your host, John. Decarbonise the air, recarbonise the soil. Welcome to episode 2 of season 9, where we're looking back to move forward. It's all about Regen Ag this season, what, why, how. Today's episode is entitled Regen Ag Soil Health. There's a secret beneath our feet that holds the key to a sustainable and thriving food system. We need, as the title of this pod suggests, change underground. The soil, the foundation of agriculture and indeed life on land itself, plays a crucial role in shaping the health of our planet. In this episode, we'll delve into the soil's depths and explore how Regen Ag practices unlock its potential to promote flourishing soils. The soil, a living, breathing series of interlocking ecosystems, teeming with microorganisms, fungi, earthworms, and all manner of other life forms, the vast majority of which have yet to be described by science. It is this poorly understood world that regenerative ag seeks to nourish and protect. By understanding the soil's function, we can begin to comprehend the transformative power of regenerative practices. The first key to unlocking the soil's wealth lies in increasing its organic matter. Whilst we do not fully understand the complexity of what happens under our feet, increased organic matter, also known as soil carbon, is a good proxy measure until we understand the system more fully. Organic matter is essentially dead and decaying plant, animal and fungal materials such as leaves, roots and crop residues that enrich the soil. Regenerative ag prioritises practices that add organic matter, like cover cropping, crop rotation and the use of organic mulches. This organic matter becomes a source of nutrients for soil biota, and these become food for plants and a home for beneficial soil microbes. As organic matter accumulates, soil structure improves, making it better at retaining moisture and preventing erosion. So the secret that harbours such a diverse and intricate microbiome is a healthy soil containing a thriving, complex community of beneficial microorganisms, including bacteria and fungi, that interact with plant roots to create mutually beneficial relationships. This symbiotic relationship aids in nutrient uptake by plants and improves soil structure. Regen ag practices, minimal tillage, no-till, reduced synthetic imports, support and nurture this underground microbiome. Erosion and soil compaction are two major threats to soil health. Erosion, often caused by ploughing and the removal of natural vegetation, leads to the loss of the topsoil and its valuable nutrients and its life. Compaction occurs when heavy machinery compresses the soil, reducing its porosity and impeding the movement of air, water and roots. Regen Ag mitigates these issues by promoting minimal soil disturbance and encouraging the use of cover crops which protect the soil from erosion and alleviate compaction. It's all about giving the soil microbiome space to grow and that space does not collapse nor blow away. One of the important aspects of a living soil is its role as a carbon reservoir. Healthy soils store vast amounts of carbon, playing a crucial role in mitigating climate change. Regen ag practices such as no-till and cover cropping sequester carbon by increasing the amount of organic matter in that soil. This not only reduces atmospheric carbon but also enhances fertility. The idea is that we can decarbonise the air and recarbonise the soil. I'm sure I've heard that somewhere before. And in this state, the soil acts as a sponge, soaking up and holding water. Healthy soil with a high organic matter content can retain far more moisture, reducing the need for irrigation and mitigating the effects of flooding rains. Regen ag practices work to improve water retention, benefiting not only the crops but also local ecosystems by preventing water runoff and erosion. Understanding the soil's importance is just the first step. Harnessing it is where Regen Ag makes a difference. Some examples. By increasing organic matter, regenerative practices provide a natural source of nutrients for plants, reducing the need for synthetic fertilisers and indeed replacing them eventually. This leads to a bank of available nutrients continually growing and interacting as long as the soil is covered with a living carpet. And cover cropping and no-till farming protect the soil from erosion, preserving the topsoil and its essential nutrients. The living carpet of plants, managed properly, and I'll come to that later, the living carpet slows water movement, allows infiltration whilst not tearing the soil particles loose. Try this with a hose on bare soil and grassed area and observe the differences. Healthy soil supports a diverse ecosystem of microorganisms contributing to overall biodiversity on the farm. The biodiversity of the soil is the base of a pyramid of health and stability upon which the rest of the farming enterprise depends. The greater the biodiversity within the soil, the more productive activity can occur above the soil. The ability of regenerative ag to sequester carbon in the soil not only mitigates climate change but also enhances soil health, as we've said before. Carbon taken up by plants removes carbon from the atmosphere. The plants die or are consumed by animals, and the detritus is incorporated into the soil by the soil microbiome. It is held as a reserve in the soil, not the oceans, not the atmosphere. As of 2022, and as measured at Mauna Loa site in Hawaii, CO2 parts per million have risen from just under 320 parts per million in 1958 to over 421 parts per million in May 2022. Lots of this is from the burning of fossil fuels, but a significant proportion has been released by agricultural activity disturbing the soil. Things like ploughing, synthetic fertilisers and chemical pesticides, herbicides and so on. We have, in essence, been and continue to sequester carbon in the atmosphere rather than the soil. Another advantage of higher organic matter is that soils with higher organic matter content are better able to withstand drought, which making regenerative practices a valuable tool in adapting to changing weather patterns. They do this by being more porous and open, allowing the ingress of water in rainfall events, and by being covered by vegetation which slows down the runoff of rain into the waterways and prevents evaporation. Regen Ag promotes long-term sustainability by reducing the need for inputs and fostering ecological balance. Or to put it another way, by reducing input costs, the farming enterprise is less likely to be drowned in debt. At the same time, smaller parcels of land become economic, which keeps rural areas populated and small towns and regional cities thriving. There are people there who need services, education, health and so on, that large agribusiness setups using fossil fuel and chemical inputs to extract a profit do not need. Regenerative ag is not just a buzzword, it represents a fundamental shift in how we approach farming. By recognising the soil's place and implementing regen practices, we improve soil health, reduce environmental impact and provide healthier, more sustainable food. This approach is not limited to large-scale farming. It can be adapted to small-scale and urban agriculturalists as well. Community gardens, rooftop farms and even the home garden benefit from regen practices, contributing to healthier soils and a healthier planet. Imagine every suburban backyard cared for with regen practices. It would be a very good start. The soil's purpose, as it's evolved over the past 3 billion odd years, is that it is the key to sustainable and prosperous futures. Regen Ag is our guide to fostering and healthier soils and ensuring that we leave a legacy of fertile, thriving land for generations to come. Understanding the soil's potential and implementing regen practices is a crucial step on the path to a more sustainable and environmentally conscious future. Perhaps we could indeed decarbonise the air and recarbonise the soil. The next episode, number 3 in Season 9, is all about the farm-to-table ethos. Now, if you found some value in this episode, I'd love it if you could tell anyone you know any way you can. This really is the best way to help the show spread the word, and such referrals are deeply appreciated. Thank you. Until next time, goodbye. This has been a JM Podcasting Services production. Link in the show notes.